Yes, guys, welcome from me, Championship Manager 0102, player profile time. You see him right there. This is Philippe Mexes. Now, this is an interesting one because I've got quite a bit to say on this guy in terms of CM related. So we'll start with that first. Philippe Mexes. He starts as a sweeper. Now, I don't know, who uses a sweeper in CM anymore or in real life? And those of you that know your CM well enough, you'll know that on the updates, the sweeper role was abolished. Now, with this game, if you start an ODB, if you train Philippe Mexes as a defender, central defender, he will convert. He will do it, and he'll do it within a short period of time. There are other players out there. I mean, you could probably get away with just playing him in defence. You know, just having him. Who knows? I mean, I don't think I've ever used a sweeper system in my life. But nevertheless, he will. You know, you could certainly train him. Now, the bottom line is right about Philippe Mexes is he looks really good. He looks the bollocks. I mean, you got to think to yourself, right? I've fired up a game here, which is 9.5 seasons in, just to give you a bit of a variation on how he performs. But in terms of CM, he looks the bollocks, but he is really very much a journeyman. So he starts off then at Auxerre. Now, I started this game as Liverpool, and I bought him at Liverpool. And I did train him to be a defender, but when I left Liverpool, he's no longer training the defence to be a defender, and he loses it. I weren't Club Brugge, was I? No. I was PSV though, weren't I? So you can see he never really stays, and he's not the greatest performer despite how he looks. And you could argue why I bought him at Real Madrid on my 7-up game. Well, he's a squad player. He is a squad player. But, you know, he's got the attributes to be a defender, maybe even a defensive midfielder. So I've never even tried it and tried to convert him into a defensive midfielder because there's a few players, isn't there, that's a sweeper / DMC. Might be worth doing that, who knows. But he's got some... I mean, he's still only 28 in this game, and I'm well into it. So he is a solid player, but you can get him at the very start. I think he gets very unhappy very early on. Hang on, I'm getting confused with Christenval at Barcelona, aren't I? But you can get Mexes, you know, as you probably gather, for a couple of million from Auxerre. So it's hard, really, where you're going to use him. But this is really a case of, if you've had any experiences with this guy, then do let me know. I always like to hear people's perspectives of how they've done with him. In terms of Mexes in real life, well... You know, it was far from how he went in CM. You know, he was very, very prolific. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Auxerre, he's been at Auxerre since '99, and he assembled over 130 odd games for Auxerre with over half a dozen goals. Now, in 2004, he made the move to Roma. Roma probably... They were really Italian giants when this game CM was made. So probably 04, they were probably starting to fall down a little bit. But that being said... He was at Roma for 7 years, from 04, and again it was over another 180 odd games, and you know, it was great. It was interesting because from Roma he went to AC Milan. Now I remember something, and I can't remember what game it was. I think it was Milan. I'm pretty sure it was Milan. He scored an overhead kick. And I remember I read about it and I watched it and I thought, wow, because he's a defender, because he's a big fucking giant of a defender. He's fucking over 6 foot. But he did this big fucking overhead kick and scored. But I think at the time, I didn't even know what it looked like. And I didn't realise that he was this big fucking unit with long hair, or he had long hair at the time. And I've had that with a lot of players on CM, where you play and Company from one of the old CMs, I always wondered what he looked like. And then he came to England and I thought, well, that's what he looks like. So... In terms of his club career, he only actually played for 3 teams. You know, yes, he had youth contracts at Toulouse, but in terms of senior career, it was only Auxerre, Roma, and AC Milan. And you have to give him credit. You have to give him credit on that. From the international perspective, he's represented France on under 16s. It wasn't 17. It was 18. 16, 18, 21. 21. Yeah, I got that right. But I actually thought he represented them at the Olympics, but apparently not. And obviously, he represented France at senior level, and he assembled 29 caps. So, I was trying to see what he was doing now, and I couldn't find anything what he's doing now, to be honest with you. And I thought maybe he might have gone into managerial roles, but I couldn't find anything. I could not find anything at all. But I did find something, right? I did read something, and I wrote this down on my little fucking little notepad here. 25th of May 2016, Milan announced his departure, along with Kevin Prince Boateng and Mario Balotelli. After leaving Milan, he did not find a club for over a year. So in November 2017, he announced his retirement. So whilst I said about it was until 16, it was actually 17 that he retired. I don't know why I had this in me, right? I don't know who I'm getting confused with. I thought he played in England. I had this thing in my head that he played in England. And I don't even know where I got that from. And I think I'm getting confused with Kim Kallstrom, who I think came to Arsenal for a little bit, didn't he? I don't even know where I got that from. I really don't know where I got it. But he was, I will say this one thing, right? He was one of the highest paid French players in Roma and Milan. He was one of the highest paid players. You got to think to yourself, right? He went to Roma in 2004, so it'd have been like 23. It'd have been like the best thing since sliced bread. So there was a lot of hype on him. Like I said, personally, I like the fact that he didn't actually spend fucking short periods here, short periods there, and every fucking where. It is disappointing to see that he looked for a club for a year, didn't find it. So that would have been in 2016. So that would have made him. So that was 7 years ago. So that would have made him 34 years of age. I don't know. Maybe he could have got. It's a shame, really, because 34 years of age. He probably could have got something, couldn't he? He could have got maybe a year's deal somewhere like West Ham, maybe somewhere like that. But it wasn't to be. So that is Philippe Mexes, guys. If you've got anything you want to add, anything that I've got wrong, anything that I've missed about this great defender, sweeper, whatever the fuck you want to call him, share it with us. And until next time from me, guys, when I get my fucking outro ready, until next time from me, guys, it's take it easy.